British Triathlon, proudly partnered by GE. Imagination at work.
One of the most energetic road trips on the sporting calendar is in full swing this summer. We've headed south for round 2 of the British Triathlon Super Series, swapping Scotland and Strathclyde for the royal backdrop of Blenheim Palace. It's an event and a weekend that is just quintessentially English. Welcome to the GE Blenheim Triathlon. Well, they say mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun, but here in the Duke of Marlborough's classic corner of Oxfordshire countryside, you also need to keep your eye out for a world champion, one who'll be trying to use the estate as his own private racetrack, and this time on 2 wheels rather than 4. The beautiful course and reputation for good weather makes this event a mecca for triathlon debutantes. Around half of the 6,000 competing this weekend will be enjoying their first taste of the sport. And at the front, it's business as usual, everybody out to impress for round 2 of the British Triathlon Super Series. Whether they're competing individually or in the relay, most people this weekend are taking on the sprint distance, which starts with a 750-metre swim in the Duke of Marlborough's lake. But there are no lane markings or black lines in this private pool, although it is a fantastic place to swim, nearly always calm and almost always pretty warm. At the end of the swim comes a feature unique to Blenheim, a 400-metre run uphill into Transition 1. And even the toughest of triathletes are blowing pretty hard by the time they reach the Palace courtyard, where they swap their wetsuits for their bikes, ready for a 3-lap 20k tour of the estate on closed roads. There's just 5k left when they return to the Palace for the second time. It's only a short run, but beware those deceptive hills before the relief and the glory of the finish line. With competitors setting off in 34 separate start waves and most competing in their age groups, the course and courtyard is never empty over 2 days of racing. The bike possibly drawing the most attention over the weekend is that belonging to former Formula 1 world champion Jenson Button. He's a good source of triathlon advice for his girlfriend, Japanese fashion model Jessica Mishibata. Button's a serious triathlete and he's done well in many top events, including the Olympic distance London Triathlon.
I've done a sprint before and I actually find them harder than the Olympic distance because it is a sprint. It's in the name, so we'll see how we do. My missus is doing it as well, Jessie, so yeah, she hasn't trained so much for this one, but she's a little bit nervous about getting in a lake as well. She's never done that before. Should be good fun.
Jenson and Jessica racing later on. In one of the earlier waves is a star of another sport, one who's not yet racing triathlon quite at Button's level. Well, I found a man who's returned to the scene of his triathlon debut here 12 months ago, British 400-metre record holder Ewan Thomas, who had an interesting experience here at Blenheim, but he looks as though he's a bit more prepared this time round. Ewan?
I'm more confident than I was this time last year. I was panicking, I didn't know what I was doing, and I don't know if I'm more prepared, but my bike certainly is. Because if you remember, my saddle fell off, literally after about maybe half a mile, and I felt really, I feel fresh as anything. Gutted.
You've learnt the lesson, always check your equipment.
Always check your equipment. I think it's good. If it's not, there's no excuse now. No, I think it's all right. I've got a new wetsuit, everything's ready. Looking forward to it.
Bike out, shoes on, curve it on, slip, bike out.
Could Ewan translate the drills into success on the course? Down at the swim start, there's always a good atmosphere. For spectators, it's a chance for a picnic or to cheer on your friends and family as they head for the water. Whereas for those taking part, there's work to be done.
The swim was pretty bad, if I'm honest. I was pretty shattered. Felt great for the first 100 metres, and then it was pretty much downhill from there.
And to make things worse, it is of course uphill from the point at which Ewan's swim finishes.
Not quite nice now.
It's a slick transition though.
Bike was good. I finished, which is quite a novelty for me.
Well, not all the hard work here at Blenheim is being done by the triathletes. Christian Furr is a world-renowned artist, and he's been commissioned to produce a piece of work that reflects the setting and the whole event. Christian, is it quite difficult to concentrate because you can hear all the cheering going on the course and you're working direct in the sun?
I think I just love throwing myself into the atmosphere of something and having all that hubbub going on, even though this is a peaceful spot. All adds to the final painting, you know. I try and capture everything, even the sort of noises going into my head are going to come out in this in some way. I'd rather have a bit of life and stuff going on, definitely some movement, which there's plenty of today. And hopefully you get the essence of the scene from several different times in the final piece.
It'll be 2 full days' work in the field here before Christian takes the piece back to his studio to add the finishing touches. When he was just 28, Furr became the youngest artist ever to paint a portrait of the Queen, and there's another royal connection with Pippa Middleton, sister of the Duchess of Cambridge, taking part in the team relay. Meanwhile, a former king of the track is finishing exactly 90 minutes of racing. How was it, big boy?
Just really pleased to finish. It was a slow time, but great atmosphere, great crowd, organisation, the weather's come out, lovely.
That's just awesome. Really brilliant triathlon.
Oh, it's great. Everyone you goes past, he says, come on, keep going. It's really good.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, I had a whale of a time, actually. Something wrong with me. I clearly like all this pain.
And it's only my second triathlon as well, so I'm feeling pretty pleased.
Will you be back next year?
Could well do. This was a Christmas present from my husband, so...
Oh, he's a bit of a romantic sod, isn't he?
Some people get diamonds, but I get this.
One of the highlights of any Blenheim weekend is the elite racing. Tim Don's here to defend his Blenheim title and is the clear favourite, but he could face competition from World Junior silver medalist Tom Bishop. In the women's race, much of the attention is on 19-year-old junior Lucy Hall. 2 years ago at Blenheim, she surprised many by leading the swim and a lot of senior athletes onto the bike course with a massive lead. She was easily overtaken, but these days is a stronger cyclist and runner, and recently raced alongside the mighty Helen Jenkins to finish second at Strathclyde Park. Could another fast swim here at Blenheim bring a win?
2 years ago when I did it, I was absolutely hanging on the bike because of those hills. I think I'm a bit stronger this year and not as naive, so hopefully I'll be able to cope.
Firefighter and triathlete Jackie Slack will be another to watch. She won in Strathclyde and was second in the British Triathlon Super Series last year. But like all the women here, she's in Hall's wake at the start.
Sure, Lucy Hall will be out first and she will probably be riding on her own for a bit. But there's certainly a couple of us that could probably ride quite strong together and hope to catch her really. So it does come down to a running race.
But Lucy's gaining more time on the run to transition, while many of her rivals are scrambling out of the water. Are you confident enough to go off on your own if no one else is there?
I'm just going to go out and just see what I can do in the swim, and then if I'm by myself, then yeah, I'm just going to take it out and just see how I do.
With Hall in front, we pick up race commentary in Transition 1 with Patrick Winterton.
Well, it's another fantastic swim from Lucy Hall, And from here on in, it all becomes about tactics. She's got herself 30 seconds plus advantage over the chasing group at the moment. She was slick through transitions in Strathclyde. She's slick again here. It's an impressive performance so far, but she's on her own. No one to share the work with. Here are the chasing group. Sky Draper leading the way into the courtyard, followed by Gillian Sanders of South Africa. She's one of the veterans on the tour and certainly will be very, very dangerous when it comes to the final stages. The run is her forte. Lucy Hall has played her trump card, the swim. Now what can she do? She looked good on the bike up in Scotland in the first race of this series. The run, I think, is the Achilles heel as far as she's concerned. And remember, in Strathclyde, she had Helen Jenkins to share the workload with on the bike. Sky Draper in the chasing group, just behind Sanders, and Jackson in fourth place as they come out of T1. Lucy Hall thinking about the tactics as hard as she is working. These three together, there you have it, 30 seconds. I think that's an underestimate. 33 seconds, the exact time. Now, you might just have picked up on Draper saying, we can catch her. Lucy Hall is going to have to work very hard to stop them.
Would that 33-second lead still be there for the run? Soon it was a group of 7 chasing the leader, for whom it would be a tough 35 minutes in and out of the saddle. Well, join us after the break to see if the chase pack can catch Lucy Hall, and we'll also have the elite men's race. See you in a couple of minutes.
British Triathlon, proudly partnered by GE. Imagination at work.
Welcome back to Oxfordshire and the GE Blenheim Triathlon. Christian's masterpiece is taking shape, and so too the day's racing here in the grounds of the Palace. Jenson Button and girlfriend Jessica taking to the water soon. Their race is coming up after the elite events. In the women's race, Lucy Hall has kept the chase group at bay and will take her advantage from the swim onto the run. But will there be anything left in these legs after riding alone for almost 35 minutes? We pick up race commentary with Patrick Winterton.
First into T1 and now first into T2 for Lucy Hall. An impressive effort on the bike, but the advantage has just about gone. And I wonder whether those legs have gone as well. We'll find out on the next phase. Chasing her hard, we have Chittenden, Slack, Draper's there, Milne, Windsor, all there. It's going to be a phenomenal climax to this Blenheim Triathlon. But the question is, can Lucy Hall hold on and take her first Super Series victory? There she goes, just 5 kilometres of running to go. Sky Draper through T2 and away. There goes Gillian Sanders of South Africa, a very good runner indeed. She has to be one of the danger women, along with the firefighter Jackie Slack, who's got the running shoes on and will be trying to chase down the youngster Lucy Hall. And it's 29-year-old Gillian Sanders, the lawyer from South Africa, in second place and looking very smooth already as they start the final discipline.
As Hall was trying to hang on, the elite men were already in the water for their race, with 2010 Blenheim and British Triathlon Super Series champion Tim Don the clear favourite.
Another sprint race. I really like this course. I raced here last time for the first time. It's quite challenging. Different aspects of it. The long run from the swim, the out of sight bike course similar to last weekend, and then the run's quite long with quite a tough hill at the end of each lap. So I'm really looking forward to it.
But Don's stuck in the pack, while the man out front is inaugural Super Series champion Richard Stannard, who took the title in 2008. After a calf injury, he's beginning this year's campaign here.
Couldn't make the first race in Scotland. I'm here for the second race, Blenheim. We'll see how it goes. I'm still on the road to repair, so looking to get in the water, start well, and then we've got this long run up the hill, so we'll see what happens there.
And it's at that moment we pick up the commentary with Patrick.
And a familiar sight in Super Series Triathlon. Richard Stannard first out of the water. He spends his spare time teaching people how to swim, but he is still the best. Now, the question is, how's that calf going to hold out? I don't think we'll see him push it too hard up the hill. Just by him is Danny Hawksworth, another good swim from him. The man from Jersey is improving minute by minute, and he's got a little bit of an advantage over the chasing group. That looks like Cameron Milne. The juniors had an excellent swim in third place at the moment, and the red bib of Tim Don is looking ominous down in around 5th or 6th position and gaining ground already on the leaders. The masses still in the water looking for a little bit of space. If you're not with the leaders onto the bike, you know you're going to struggle for the rest of the race. Hawksworth's got himself in an excellent position. Don pushing hard to make sure that he comes out of T1 with the leaders. Now, Don wasn't too smooth through transition up in Scotland in the first race of the series. We'll see how he gets on here. On with the helmet. Hawksworth on the opposite aisle is away, a man who turned pro on the 1st of January this year. Couple of mistakes from Don there, costing valuable seconds. Hawksworth on to and almost off the bike, but he is away. 20 kilometres to go on the wheels before he switches to the final discipline, the 5-kilometre run. There's a good group there with Sharp, Bishop, Don, of course, and it's going to be a very strong chasing group. I wonder how much time Hawksworth's going to have on his own. Here comes Tim Don. Well, this is a familiar sight because this is exactly what he did up in Scotland. He blasted past the early leaders and then did all the work on his own. On this occasion, he'll be hoping that Hawksworth can go with him and share the workload. He'll be confident he can outrun him. Too fast, he says. Get in and have a rest. Well, that's generous, but it's just what he needs. A woman up front, one of the elite female athletes, obviously having a few problems. They're going to be past her in no time at all. Now, here's the chasing group. Leckie, Bishop, Sharp, all very good runners in that group. Cameron Milne, the youngster, still hanging on in there. He's having a very good early race. 13 seconds the margin between the two leaders, Don and Hawksworth, and this group of 4.
Bishop's group were working well, but the lead pair were up to the challenge of staying away, setting up a healthy lead over 3 laps for the run. The solo ride had taken a lot out of Lucy Hall, though. Would she have any response as Sanders closed in?
It's been a great effort, but Hall's time at the front is over. With low knee lift and high cadence, it's Gillian Sanders storming past, and this is where it gets really tough for Lucy Hall.
With 4K to go, there was no looking back from Sanders and no way back for Hall, who still had to defend second from Jackie Slack. While that battle unfolded, it was the South African who took the win.
Some of these GB juniors, they're very strong. The back was pretty hard. Obviously, Lucy had a great swim, so we had to try and catch her. Yeah, but the run's my strongest aspect, so just tried to get into rhythm quickly and just got a bit of a lead and managed to win.
A painful sprint made sure of second for Jackie Slack.
Gillian was quite far ahead and it would have been difficult to catch, but I was just digging in, let the legs were burning, but I'm pleased with the second.
Sanders the winner then in 68.12, over a minute ahead of her nearest rival. Third place was well earned by Lucy Hall, but maybe not quite as good as she'd hoped for.
Maybe my legs just weren't there today, because I've done it before and it's felt a hell of a lot easier. It was a bit of a mental battle, really. I was just telling myself, this is hurting so much, but then I sort of got some encouragement from my coach on the side and my dad, and they were just like, just think about your cadence, and that just sort of got me through it, and I just could not run off that bike. I was just knackered.
Still, third is enough to bring her the lead in the British Triathlon Super Series, ahead of Scotland's Natalie Milne, fifth today, and Heather Jackson. Tim Don leads the men's Super Series and this race too, as he starts the run. And with a 21-second lead over the main threat Tom Bishop, there's not much chance of any of that changing before the finish line. Tim can afford a little smile as he looks back. While Hawksworth loses second and then third place to Leckie and Bishop, these two set for a sprint finish. While Tim Don has enough time for a family reunion on his way to the finish line and a second Blenheim title. In 59.30, he's the only athlete under the hour this weekend.
It was such good fun on the bike to have Daniel Hawksworth with me. He's last year he was strong, but this year he's gone another level. I know he's got a new coach, so it was great to have someone with me on the bike. We really worked well together, and I really enjoyed it out there. Good fun.
The sprint for silver goes to Bishop.
I came into this race wanting to challenge Tim, and today he was just too good. He got out of transition a bit too far ahead, and then we just couldn't close him down. I think we just settled for second and third, and then it was down to a sprint finish.
Todd Leckie in third then, ahead of Sharp and Buckingham. Hawksworth could ride with Don, but couldn't run with him today and finishes sixth. Maximum points from 2 races puts Tim on top of the Super Series leaderboard, ahead of Matt Sharp and Mark Buckingham. Who was it that you said hello to in the finishing straight? Stop for a little hug.
Oh, that was my daughter. I gave her a quick kiss on the cheek. Yeah, it's the first time she's watched me race, so yeah, I'm chuffed I could win for her. Matilda was awesome.
A kiss at the finish for Tim then, a kiss at the start line for Jensen and Jessica, but Button's on his own from here to the end and looking for a flying lap of this Blenheim course. An 11.09 swim is a great start, and Jensen's second of his wave to begin the climb. What about that run up into T1? It's pretty tough, that.
I actually almost faked a hamstring injury. It was so painful coming up there, and I can't breathe, and it's just pain, just non-stop pain. But that's horrible, that 400-metre sprint up the hill. But it's the same for all of us, and it definitely makes you stronger. But when I got on the bike, it was a bit better. It was tough. It was a lot tougher than I thought the bike was going to be. It was very, very hilly.
The bike is where Button really starts to motor, and he's well on his way as Jessica sets off following a 15-minute swim.
The swim was all right?
Yeah. I beat quite a few men.
You didn't beat Jensen?
No. Impossible.
While some might not be able to beat Jensen, they can still try to steal the limelight from him.
This race is not about Jensen Button, it's about me!
Out of thousands of racers, and not including the elites who get the roads to themselves, Button is the 6th fastest to complete the course in an impressive 1 hour 9 minutes. Do you never feel like having a weekend off? Do you never think, right, this weekend, pub lunch, Sunday papers, couple of pints, just some rest?
That's what I'm going to do this evening. But I love this, and it's great hanging out with my mates. I don't see very often. And it's great that my girlfriend enjoys it as well. To be fair though, this morning she was saying to me, JB, I don't want to do it today. She hasn't really trained, she's been too busy, but we'll see how she looks when she crosses the line.
Well, what a fitting climax to the country's most picturesque triathlon. A masterpiece on canvas and on the course. From Jensen Button, a performance worthy of a world champion. And as for Tim, he's very much still the Don. Round 3 of the British Triathlon Super Series takes us to Windsor. We very much hope to see you there.
British Triathlon, proudly partnered by GE. Imagination at work.